At his $1 million wedding, rich businessman Robert Mason spotted a small girl cleaning tables. Looking closer, he froze in shock. It was his own daughter Lily, whom he had abandoned years ago. Why was his 5-year-old child working at his wedding? The truth would change his life forever. Before watching full video, comment below from where you watching. Also like and subscribe for more videos. Robert Mason stood tall in his expensive black suit, surrounded by hundreds of guests at his lavish wedding. The grand ballroom sparkled with crystal chandeliers, and waiters in white gloves served champagne worth thousands of dollars per bottle. At 38, Robert had finally decided to marry again, this time to Victoria, a beautiful fashion model half his age. As the CEO of Mason Enterprises, Robert was used to having everything perfect, and tonight was no exception. The wedding cost over $1 million, money that meant nothing to him. The guests were all important people: business partners, celebrities, politicians, and socialites. Everyone who mattered was there except one person, his daughter Lily. Robert had barely thought about Lily today. After divorcing her mother Sarah 3 years ago, he had moved on quickly. He paid child support but rarely visited. His busy life building his empire left little time for a child, or so he told himself. The truth was simpler and more painful. Lily reminded him of his failed marriage, of promises broken, of a life he wanted to forget. "Darling, isn't everything perfect?" Victoria whispered, squeezing his arm. Robert nodded, forcing a smile. But something felt empty inside him. He excused himself to get some fresh air and walked toward the back of the ballroom. That's when he saw her. Near the dessert table, a small figure in a plain blue dress was carefully wiping a table with a cloth. Her brown hair was tied in a messy ponytail, and she stood on her tiptoes to reach the center of the table. It was Lily, his 5-year-old daughter. Robert froze, unable to process what he was seeing. Why was his daughter here? And why was she cleaning tables? He approached slowly. "Lily?" The little girl turned, her face lighting up for a second before becoming serious again. "Hi, Daddy. What are you doing here? And why are you cleaning tables?" His voice came out harsher than intended. Lily's small shoulders drooped. "Mommy is working in the kitchen. She got this job last week. Her boss said I could stay if I helped a little bit. I'm being good, Daddy." Robert felt like someone had punched him in the stomach. Sarah was working in the catering service at his wedding? The woman who had once been his wife, the mother of his child, was now serving food to his wealthy guests while their daughter wiped tables? "Where is your mother now?" he asked, his voice suddenly hoarse. "In the big kitchen. She's washing dishes." Lily pointed toward the service area. "She cried when she found out it was your wedding, but we needed the money." Each word from his daughter's innocent mouth cut through Robert like a knife. Sarah had been a teacher when they were married. She must have lost her job. And he hadn't known. He hadn't cared enough to check. "Wait here," he told Lily and rushed toward the kitchen. The kitchen was bustling with staff, and in the corner he saw her. Sarah stood at a sink, her hands red from hot water, her once beautiful face tired and lined with worry. She wore the same black and white uniform as the other kitchen staff, her hair hidden under a cap. "Sarah," he called out. She turned, and the shock on her face quickly transformed into embarrassment and then anger. "Robert, I didn't think I'd see you back here. What happened? Why are you doing this?" Sarah dried her hands on her apron. "The school closed down last year. I've been taking whatever work I can find. Your child support helps, but it's not enough with rent increases and Lily's medical bills." "Medical bills? What medical bills?" Sarah's eyes flashed with anger. "If you ever answered my calls, you would know Lily has asthma now. The treatments are expensive." Robert felt shame wash over him like a cold wave. He had ignored calls from Sarah, assuming she just wanted more money or to complain about him not visiting Lily. "Why didn't you tell me you needed more support?" "I tried. For months." Sarah's voice cracked. "Your assistant always said you were busy. Eventually I stopped trying." A kitchen supervisor approached them. "Is everything okay here?" "Mrs. Evans, we need those dishes done quickly." Sarah nodded quickly. "Yes, sir. I'll get back to work." Robert couldn't bear it anymore. "No, she's done for tonight. In fact, all the kitchen staff can go home. They'll be paid for the full shift." The supervisor looked confused. "Sir, I don't think you have the authority. I'm the groom. I'm paying for this entire event." Robert pulled out his wallet and handed the man several large bills. "Make sure everyone gets paid extra." Robert turned back to Sarah. "Go get Lily. You're both coming with me." Sarah looked suspicious. "We're not a charity case, Robert." "I know. That's not what this is about." He led Sarah back to the ballroom where Lily was still diligently cleaning a table. Seeing them together, something broke inside Robert. How had he let things get this bad? How had he forgotten what really mattered? Victoria approached, confusion on her perfect face. "Robert, what's going on? Who are these people?" Robert took a deep breath. "Victoria, this is my daughter Lily and her mother, Sarah." Victoria's smile tightened. "Oh, how nice. Perhaps they should wait somewhere else until the reception is over?" Robert looked at his bride, then at his daughter and ex-wife. In that moment, everything became clear to him. "I'm sorry, Victoria. I can't do this." Victoria's face hardened. "What do you mean?" "I've been living a lie. I've been running away from what really matters." He looked at Lily, who was watching the adults with wide, worried eyes. "I forgot what's important. I failed as a father and as a human being." The ballroom had grown quiet as guests noticed the drama unfolding. "You're choosing them over me? Over all this?" Victoria gestured around the lavish room. "I'm choosing to fix my biggest mistake." Robert knelt down to Lily's level. "I'm so sorry, Lily. I've been a terrible father. I promise I'll do better if you'll give me another chance." Lily looked at him solemnly. "Will you come to my school play next week? I'm going to be a tree." Robert felt tears form in his eyes. "I wouldn't miss it for the world." He stood and faced the shocked crowd. "I apologize to everyone, but there will be no wedding today. Please enjoy the food and drinks." Taking Lily's small hand in his, Robert turned to Sarah. "Can we talk? Really talk? I want to help, and not just with money. I want to be part of Lily's life again if you'll let me." Sarah studied his face, looking for sincerity. After a moment, she nodded slowly. "For Lily's sake, we can try." As they walked out together, Lily looked up at her father. "Does this mean you'll come to my birthday next month?" "Yes, and every birthday after that," Robert promised. Outside, the night air was cool and fresh. For the first time in years, Robert felt like he could breathe properly. He had almost made the biggest mistake of his life. Again. His fortune meant nothing if he couldn't be the father his daughter deserved. Later that night, after making sure Sarah and Lily were comfortable in a hotel suite he arranged for them, Robert sat alone and made phone calls. First to his lawyer, increasing the child support payments and setting up a college fund for Lily. Then to his assistant, clearing his schedule for the coming weeks. And finally to a real estate agent. He needed a house with a yard, somewhere Lily could play. The next morning, Robert arrived at the hotel with breakfast and a small teddy bear for Lily. When she opened the door and smiled at him, he knew that all the money in the world couldn't buy what he was feeling right now. It wasn't too late to change, to be better. As Lily hugged her new teddy bear, Robert made a silent promise. From now on, he would measure his wealth not by the money in his accounts but by the love in his daughter's eyes. "Daddy, can we go to the park today?" Lily asked, her eyes hopeful. "Yes, we can," Robert replied, realizing these were the most important words he had ever spoken. And as they walked hand in hand toward the elevator, Robert understood that true richness wasn't in bank accounts or business deals. It was in these small moments, in the trust of a child who was giving him a second chance he didn't deserve but desperately needed.